Who's the greatest UFC fighter? Are you allowed to say, in your opinion? It's tough for you to say because you do this, but who do you think is the greatest of the fighters?
There's a lot of arguments for who's the greatest of all time. Jon Jones, most people would say, is the greatest of all time. Never lost. There's certainly a really good argument for that. There's another argument for George St. Pierre. I always leave in B.J. Penn in his prime, Anderson Silva in his prime. Mighty Mouse. People forget about Mighty Mouse because, unfortunately, he's a smaller guy. He's 125 pounds, flyweight champion. He's one of the greatest expressions of mixed martial arts I've ever seen. I think to this day.
And Khabib? What about
Khabib's fantastic. But if you looked at accomplishments in terms of championship fights, Khabib retired 29-0, but he didn't have as many. The best athletes in the world, and the most dangerous sport in terms of I always call it high level problem solving with dire physical consequences.
Yeah, it's just brutal.
That's what fighting is.
I never forget. So there was a fighter named James Toney.
Oh, yeah, I love James Toney.
He fought as a very light fighter, and he ended up as a heavyweight. I mean, this guy went through everything. He was almost like a lightweight.
He went from middleweight all the way up to heavyweight. Yeah, and Peter Vander Holyfield is a heavyweight.
And he was a real fighter.
Oh, yeah.
So James Toney, and I think it was, George
St. Pierre?
St. Pierre. I think it was him. Who did he fight? James Toney?
No, James Toney didn't fight George St. Pierre.
He fought a UFC fighter.
Yeah, Randy Couture fought James Toney.
Was it?
But
Randy
that was like
Couture,
an easy
maybe?
fight. That was a very easy fight. Randy Couture just took him down and strangled him.
It was the most, and he's half the size, and he just. Once he got to the ankles, in fact, the announcer said, "It's over."
Yeah,
and he put him to
him,
sleep.
took him down, mounted him, strangled him. It was
and
pretty
James
quick.
said but he was talking big because he was much bigger. He was a pretty big guy.
James just wanted to make some money.
You think so?
Yeah.
But I never forgot it. It was over very quickly, and he was sleeping on the mat, and he was talking. He was doing the Muhammad Ali stuff, but it didn't work out. But I remember
he sold the fight.
Yeah, that was Couture probably.
Yeah, it was Couture. George never fought a boxer in an MMA fight. If he did, he would kill them.
Was he one of the greatest?
Yes, unquestionably. That's the argument. There's like a handful of guys you can make the argument is the greatest of all time. People forget about Anderson Silva. In his prime, he was unstoppable. But that's
Anderson
the thing
Silva.
And then there's Fedor Emelianenko, who fought in Pride. In his prime, he was unstoppable. There's this.
And you have a couple now that are pretty good.
Oh, we've got so many now. Alex Pereira.
Correct.
There's an argument that he's the top pound-for-pound fighter in the world.